I once believed that quietness offered protection, akin to a crystal structure, delicate yet clear, guarding me against the tempest of their demands. But quietness can also choke you. It seeps into your core, burdensome like remorse, until you understand the sole escape is to break it apart. My relatives assumed they understood me, assumed they could gauge my value through executive suites and prestigious honors. They overlooked the dominion I was constructing in secrecy. And when I eventually shattered the quiet, I didn't merely disrupt their reality, I reconstructed my own. Just 3 days back, I was seated in my mother's immaculate dining area, the sort of spot where each utensil shines like a reflective surface and every phrase is a deliberate blow. The atmosphere carried sense of floral essence and inherited wealth, dense with the burden of their criticism. My dad, Richard, positioned himself at the table's end, his silhouette extending over the wood like a hammer poised to drop. My mom, Claire, was seated on his right, her string of pearls shining like a collar she donned with dignity. My sibling, Nathan, reclined in his custom-fitted attire, his recent advancement at an elite legal practice almost radiating from him. And Uncle Thomas, the clan's unofficial leader, was positioned opposite me, his gaze already tightening as though my presence was a bother. Eleanor, my dad started, his tone keen enough to slice through crystal. We're gathered due to our worries. Worries the term struck like a rock in my torso. I shifted my simple ash-colored top, selected on purpose, a subtle defiance toward their realm of high-end brands. They assumed it indicated I was underperforming, that I lacked the means for superior items. Ah, how I relished the paradox. Your sibling has recently become lead advisor at Harper & Klein, my dad went on, pointing toward Nathan, who displayed a grin that mixed sympathy and victory. The most youthful in the organization's records, and you, he paused, flicking a hand as if rejecting a poor asset. You're squandering your prospects on a digital illusion. My mom extended for her goblet of wine, her digits quivering sufficiently to reveal her unease. Sweetheart, you shone at Deloitte executive at 27. You had all paths prepared. Why abandon it for what? Meddle with programs? Uncle Thomas huffed, his tone oozing contempt. Programs as if it's a pastime. 3 years, Eleanor. 3 years of frittering away your capabilities and your legacy funds. I maintained a composed expression, my palms clasped on my knees. Yet inwardly I was ticking off the moments. My device rested screen down on the surface, the display inactive but active with a countdown. 7 p.m., 2 minutes till the revelation would strike them like a massive surge. Nathan bent ahead, his tone gentle yet condescending, akin to addressing a youngster who'd strayed. Ellie, I comprehend. Beginning anew is challenging, but Harper & Klein is recruiting. I might influence matters, return you to business law. You needn't persist in battling in that cramped space you label a workspace. Battling. The term hurt, not since it held truth, but as they held it so strongly. During the previous holiday season, Nathan had declared to the whole clan that my modest venture had failed spectacularly. He was unaware I'd shifted directions, reconstructed, and expanded into something grander than his practice could envision. Over half a year, they'd forwarded employment ads, arranged confrontations, murmured regarding my setback during kin gatherings. My mom even posted me a motivational volume on discovering your direction. I checked my device. 7:03 p.m., 1 minute. My pulse beat like a stretched cord, but I held my tone firm. Do you wish to learn what I've been developing? Please, my mom responded, her pitch urgent, as if pleading for a rescue rope. I grinned, modest and pointed. I believe Forbes could clarify it more effectively. Precisely then, my mom's device vibrated. She looked at it, then stiffened, her wine vessel tilting marginally in her grasp. The title shone on her display. NovaShield appraised at $5 billion. The covert venture transforming AI protection. Underneath, my image. Eleanor Kane, 30, originator and chief. The space became motionless, the type of hush that seems like the globe pausing its respiration. $5 billion, Nathan murmured, his flawless poise cracking. Uncle Thomas grabbed the device, his expression contorting. This must be an error. It has to be. No error, I stated, my tone serene, yet infused with resolve. Although the appraisal is somewhat understated. Following today's agreement, we're nearer to $7 billion. My dad slumped into his seat, his complexion pale as cinders. But you never mentioned a thing. I locked gazes with him, unwavering. You never inquired. You were overly occupied organizing my salvation to see I required no rescue. I retrieved my device, sliding to a real-time view of my firm's base. Not the tiny room they pictured, but a modern 40-level structure I discreetly acquired the prior year. The view displayed my crew. Technicians, programmers, innovators, laboring on the innovation that had rendered all current safeguard mechanisms outdated. NovaShield, I explained, is an AI-powered quantum safeguard system. It doesn't merely guard information, it revolutionizes protection. Every administration, every technology behemoth, every financial institution will require us. And I hold 60%. My mom's device continued vibrating, alerts accumulating as the narrative disseminated rapidly. CNBC, Bloomberg, TechCrunch, Eleanor Kane, the tycoon who erected a dominion covertly. Nathan gazed at me, his attorney's assurance disintegrating. Throughout this period, that small residence, that worn vehicle. Decisions, I remarked, inclining ahead. I don't require a luxury suite to demonstrate my value. I don't need a Tesla to indicate I've succeeded. Achievement isn't an emblem on a purse, it's a heritage. And mine is reshaping tomorrow. Uncle Thomas, yet gripping my mom's device, grumbled, the backers. They're indicating you have support from Titan Ventures, Oracle, even the Pentagon. I affirmed we maintained discretion. Protection motives, you comprehend. My dad's tone was scarcely audible. Why didn't you inform us? I rose, straightening my top, the one they'd confused for defeat. Because accomplishment doesn't seek approval, it requires concentration. And as you were occupied evaluating my existence against Nathan's incentives, I was creating something that will endure beyond us all. While I departed, abandoning them in astonished hush, my device illuminated with a note from my COO, Lena. Shares risen 35% in early trading, prepared for the CNN discussion. I grinned, entering the awaiting vehicle that would transport me to the broadcast. The urban horizon sparkled beyond, a cluster of aspirations I'd seized as mine. That evening on broadcast television, I shared with the globe about NovaShield, regarding the aspiration that kept me awake, programming in obscurity as my relatives murmured about my squandered abilities. But this isn't concerning demonstrating them mistaken. It's about affirming my own correctness, about constructing something significant, even when nobody trusts in you, particularly when nobody trusts in you. If you're viewing this and someone is informing you your aspiration is too minor, too hazardous, too unattainable, don't merely demonstrate them mistaken. Affirm your own correctness. Erect your dominion in quietness and allow the globe perceive it when it thunders.